Well, starting off a minute early, but I don't think anybody will hold it against us. Hello everybody, Mr. Moo here in the cockpit, here in the star map, here in Elite Dangerous, and as you can see, we've made it past the galactic core. We've traveled upwards across the galactic bar region. We're now approaching the base of the far 3 kiloparsec arm. Our destination today, we're probably going to end up through here at least, which is the start of a region called the Perseus Stem. From then on, we're traveling past that into the Boreas region, then into the Bleak Lands, through the Abyss, and finally, at some point, space and randomius willing, we're hitting Beagle Point. It's going to be a long-ass trip. We're still 37,000 light-years from Beagle Point. You can believe it. The core is only about 1/3 of the way to the trip. Ooh, we got a ways to go, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good Friday. Hope everybody's got a good weekend planned. Kind of looking out the window here into a kind of rainy Seattle winter, but that's Seattle. Thank goodness we aren't out on the, well, thank goodness I'm not out on the East Coast. And if any viewers from the East Coast are out there watching, stay warm, stay safe. I've seen some of the footage. Holy crap. Cars under 3 feet of water, which then froze into 3 feet of ice. Oh, that can't be very good for the alignment. Or the bodywork. Or the undercarriage. Or the anything, really. Speaking of things that are bad for the bodywork, let's go catapulting on 30 light years in a blink of an eye. Alex, you there? Alex? No, I hope she's there. We'll know in a second. What's the name of that god in Elite? Randominus? Randomius? Can't remember. Seeing a bunch of courier jobs out of Colonia recently, offering 200 grand apiece. Hardcore, I'm just like, lol, no. System map.
System map.
Oh good, you're there. Hi, Alex. And now, honestly, we are in very, very uncharted territory. I mean, it's like, if you look at a star map, if you look at EDSM, it is like a massive highway from the bubble to Colonia, and from the bubble to the core, and from Colonia to the core. But out past the other side of the core, oh, here there be dragons. Resume course.
Selecting next system en route.
Warning, frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged.
Boost
But on the
activated.
plus side, they're going to have to be very fast dragons to catch me. And we're jumping straight from one neutron star to another, so this is going to be a 450, 460 light year set of hops. Nearly 500 light years, just like that. Hardcore, thank you so much for the host. Man, how did we even survive before the neutron highway? I mean, I know we did it. Meow is proof of that, and everybody else who was on Distant Worlds. This just makes it so much easier. System map.
System cartography.
Same things before, I suppose. Zoom course.
Selecting next destination.
Slowly, yeah. Yep. Back when starships were made out of wood.
Warning, frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged.
Boost activated.
Back when you had to walk to school in the snow uphill both ways, because they switched the gravity gradient at noon. So just like that, with these 4 jumps we made, well, let's see here. Well, 3 jumps, I guess. Hey, Mad, how you doing? Covered star wagons, yeah. Yeah, so just like that, 3 jumps, maybe 4, and we've gone roundabouts 500 light years.
Fuel scooping.
System map.
System cartography.
A lot of gas giants. A lot of rings.
Fuel scooping complete.
Oh, we've got plenty of materials for that. Excellent. Tin, manganese, vanadium. Yeah. We've got plenty of refills. Beautiful. With that level of reloads on the maintenance unit, we could stay out here practically forever. Yep, all those pristine reserves, totally worthless all the way out here. Unless you are a really, really, really dedicated mining captain.
Fuel scooping.
System map.
System map.
Fuel scooping complete.
Last main sequence on the course. Interesting. Then again, I've seen very dedicated commanders before. Somebody filled up a 720-ton hold on an Imperial cutter with meta-alloys from an SRV. So 720, divide that by 2, you got what? 300, damn it, math. 350, 360. 360 trips in an SRV to and from the ship, just getting meta-alloys, loading them into the hold. I mean, it was a 100 million credit trip, but there's got to be an easier way to make 100 million credits. System map.
System map.
Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
Warning. Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged.
Boost activated.
Oh, before we get too far underway, shoot, where are my manners? A shout out to Cazador, 1995. Thank you so much for following. Welcome to the crew. Hardcore, nearly got my petty officer rank. Sol is the one place I really haven't seen in other people's videos. Huh. You know, come to think of it, I haven't seen the Sol system very much in other people's videos either. And then again, I mean, you know, you want to look up a space documentary and it's like almost always just based on Sol.
Fuel scooping complete.
Hell, you watch a Star Trek movie and most of them are about saving Sol. You know, for being out where no one has gone before, they seem to come back to where everybody's come from real easy. First Sol, then Hutton. Well, better you than me. I did my Hutton run and I paid my penance. System map.
System cartography.
Well, hello there, Yuki. How are you doing, little miss? She's happy the window's open. She's watching Kitty TV right now. And one of these days, I will set up the Hank cam. Or the Yuki cam. Depends on which cat wants to be famous first, I guess. Or semi-famous. Well, seen by a few people on Twitch, anyway.
Fuel scooping.
System map.
System cartography.
Nope, not much of anything out here.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Bothered to go any of the Fed permit systems, always had something better to do. Not sure what makes them special. Well, the Sol system, you can get a, you know, just kind of...
Fuel scooping.
It's the place that has everything. Sol system has so many stations, Mars High stations like Beverly Hills in space, which is kind of neat to look at, I guess. Plus, you're able to visit V'ger. On New Year's, a whole bunch of passenger missions cropped up, titled For the Mug. Ugh. You know, I suppose I could have just put that into my New Year's Eve stream and then I wouldn't have had to worry about content. I could have just pointed towards Hutton Orbital, hit the throttles, and said, Happy New Year, everybody. But no, some of the other federal permit systems are like military-only systems, and they give you some kind of discount on ships, I think. I'd look up the wiki, but I'm flying here.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping.
System map.
System map.
What do we got here? Ugh. Oh, that's just... No, 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 no. Activate Nope Drive. Nope Factor, screw this pile of rubble. %, discounted Corvettes in some of the federal permit systems. That right there... And you can't see me pointing at the screen, but that right there is a good reason for federal permits.
Fuel scooping.
System map.
System map.
Let's give this a listen.
Complete.
You might be something interesting. I don't think so, but I'm gonna double check for my readings. Long way from getting a vet, yeah. Well, you'd be 20% closer if you got that permit. Haha, midget-tastical. Wait, 20% discounted Corvettes? Where? Why? Also, howdy. Yeah, let's see here. So, Hardcore was saying that there are some federal permit systems where you can get 20% discounts on things like Corvettes. And I said I wasn't going to be able to look up the wiki on that because, you know, I'm flying the ship here. But, you know, on second thought, I'm about to point at a planet and I need some scan time, so let's go look at that wiki and find out. Howdy, Hank. Okay, high metal content, not what I was thinking. That's about right. Okay, let's see here. 10% discount, 20% discount. Okay, I'm not seeing anything about federal permits here. So, Daedalus Station in the Sol system, you get a 20% discount on an Eagle. Whee! And then the Vega system, 10% discount on the Eagle at Edmondson High Station. Access to Vega's Slimweed Rare Commodity at Taylor City Station. I am not seeing anything about federal Corvettes, and that makes me sad. On the other hand, Lee Young-Ree's systems, anything in his sphere of influence, you do get 15% off. And if he has federal Corvettes because he's got a federal allied system, then you get 15% off on that. Resume course.
Locking system destination.
Still paying off the mortgage I had to put out on my federal assault ship. They ain't cheap. But there's worse things out there. Yeah, Hardcore, everything gets discounted 15. Oh, we just had some nasty dropped frames there. Looks like we're all good again, though, so... Hooray. What in the hell hit me? Nothing else here in the system, just the star.
Fuel scooping.
Resume course.
Locking next star system.
Dropped into the Matrix for a second there.
Fuel scooping complete.
Oh, I know what did it. Shoot. Ugh. It was actually loading up the Elite Wiki. My fingertips are barely just brushing at a Python. All I can do not to buy one and keep making money so I can properly outfit it. Yeah, that's... Yeah, you want to have enough money for proper insurance and proper outfitting. Howdy, Hank. No, Midgetastical Meow won't be joining us today. She's at work, actually. She does real work. I just do this. No, she's off at the office today. Helping take care of, like I mentioned yesterday, there's what, Spectre and Meltdown? She's helping take care of some of that.
Fuel scooping.
Hopefully she'll be joining us on the weekend at some point. Do another special and see what happens. Although, well, no, if she...
Fuel scooping complete.
Yes, I'm thinking to myself and starting and stopping a half dozen conversations at the same time. System map.
System cartography.
We're both out in deep space, so she wouldn't be able to do any bounty hunting back at Narvert. But she'd be able to be on channel, and then when one of us got back into the Narvert system, probably her first, I could hop in the multi-crew and maybe see what she's got in the way of fighters. Waiting until I have about 80 million before buying up a Python. That's a good round number. That's decent. No meow, but yeah, a Hank has decided again to curl up right around the rudder pedals. I'm going to have to be very careful steering the ship, lest I get a Hank tangled up in the controls. System map.
System cartography.
Fuel scooping complete.
I'm also considering and trying to figure out the logistics and the wheres and hows on this. I'm thinking of doing a... I'm wondering whether I should do it on Twitch or just make it a YouTube series, and I'm leaning towards YouTube. Enough in total assets, but I don't want to sell off the Cobra 3. Also a good idea. Always leave yourself a fallback when you're buying a new ship. But no, I'm considering a show, calling it like Jam Session or something, where me and Niao or me and somebody else just sit down and riff on some subject. Like, you know, a lot of lore-related stuff. Battletech stuff, Star Trek, Star Wars. Kind of the random stuff you don't hear about a lot. You know, try to make it interesting. Now, only some of the Federal ships have fighters. It's only the gunship, the Corvette. None of the other Federal ships actually have fighter bays, which is a damn shame. And a Python doesn't have a fighter bay, which is just a cruelty of the universe.
Fuel scooping.
System map.
System map.
Fuel scooping complete.
You'd watch that hardcore? Well, thank you very much. Beluga liner can have one. That is... Yes, but a beluga liner isn't... I don't know. Putting a fighter bay on a beluga liner is like putting pajamas on a cat. And the... Peel back. Ah, well. No, he was just talking Federal ships, though. And, yeah, I can't. I know. Yeah, all the same shape and size, roughly, but it's all the internal configurations and layout. Because I'm pretty sure the Federal assault ship has a much bigger set of engines than the gunship. Yep, one of those miracles of nature. You ought to have David Attenborough narrate it.
Fuel scooping. Fuel
System
scooping
map.
complete.
System map.
Hmm? Huh. Well, we'll go have a look at you. Because I'm hearing a water world there. Yeah, just random stuff ranging all over the sci-fi spectrum. I mean, you know, mobile suit stuff. If anybody's read the Enterprise D technical manual, there's a little blurb in there during talking about the development of the Galaxy class starship, and talks about how the Galaxy class was like the most expensive, overbloated, troublesome starship development program the Federation ever had. It's not a chocolate chip cookie, it's a blueberry. Yeah, with all the Type 7 grinding I've been doing, the Python will be a treat. You are absolutely correct. Yeah, it's something I've been seeing in other publications too, other stuff, a lot of fan stuff, that the Galaxy-class starship was, to be honest, it was a flying death trap. They crammed way too much bleeding-edge tech into a space frame they didn't know enough about, and they didn't work on the fundamentals. Like, say, warp core ejectors that worked. Tried to make it into this ultimate multi-generational ultra-deep space explorer, but it was so valuable that nobody wanted to risk it out in deep space, so it ended up turning into a, kind of a gunboat for diplomacy, and it turned into an actual flying embassy, and it turned into a medical rescue ship, and, for being out in deep space, the Enterprise D sure spent a lot of time going anywhere but. Resume course?
System destination.
System
locked.
map.
System cartography.
Oh, that is a beautiful star field there. Okay, what are the specs here? Let's see here, 2.28 G, 57.1 atmospheres, silicate vapor geysers. Nah, let's see here, 430 Kelvin, that's a little hot. Interesting makeup there. Worth it if you could jump between galaxies. That would... oh, that'd be lovely. The only Star Trek ship that actually worked was the 1701A. The original, all the others tended to turn on the crew in some way. Well, in the motion picture... well, no, 1701A turned on them in, if there was a Star Trek V, I'm pretty sure it would have been, barely holding together. Thank goodness there wasn't one, though, right? System map.
System map.
Fuel scooping complete.
That could have life. The Defiant was also pretty good. I mean, the Defiant had its teething troubles, but once they got that thing sorted out, it was a... well, it was exactly what it said on the tin. It was a battleship. But it didn't have any more teething troubles than the Enterprise A did. The E was actually pretty good, too. I don't remember the E... I mean, yeah, the E got partially Borgified, but... can't really blame that on the ship. So this one may possibly be a gas giant with ammonia-based life. Possibly. But it was only 1,700 light seconds out, so not a huge detour to check it out. Also, a proper good view when you're away from the star. Yep, gas giant, ammonia-based life. Oh, look at that. Don't know a whole lot about Star Trek. I was a Star Wars kid growing up. Watched a few episodes of TNG here and there. Gave me my favorite tropes of robots trying to find their humanity with data. Other than that, I know zilch. You pretty much know it then. It was just another version of Star Trek. I mean, you know, it had its good stories, had its bad, had a distinctive crew. And yeah, isn't that view just... holy crap. Alright, let's get this star locked up and scanned up. The first couple seasons of TNG were terrible. Well, they had some good ones, but mostly they were clunkers. Resume course.
System destination locked.
System map.
System cartography.
Couple stars and the booster. Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
234 light years about to go away.
Warning, frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits.
Oh, we have to re-enter. There we go.
Frameshift drive supercharged.
Boost activated.
Alright, one super jump coming right up. And the closest thing it could direct me to is a brown dwarf? What in the hell kind of star systems are we around? Oh yeah, that's a change they made in the actual game. As far as, excuse me. System map.
System map.
That's a change they made in the game itself, as far as I remember. Because it's doing it for me too, and I'm not watching the stream, so to speak. There we go. Resume course.
Locking next star system.
Now when the stars fade in, then you've got something big. Because usually when you finish a jump, the stars just flash back into vision. But if you see the star kind of fade in rather than zooming in, you know you have found a very, very big star. Because that star just rushed in at us. That's a standard, standard hyperspace drop.
Fuel scooping.
System map.
System cartography.
12 light seconds.
Fuel scooping complete.
8.2 atmosphere, 8.02 atmospheres. Atmosphere is 98.4% sulfur dioxide, 1.6% rock vapor. So not the most hilariously lethal planet I've ever seen, but, you know, it's still 1.6% rock vapor, and that is 1.6% too much. Resume course.
Selecting next system en route.
Is that what the kids are calling it these days? Rock vapor? Well, it is when the rock gets vaporized. I suppose it could be metal vapor too, but I've only seen that fly out of somebody's head once. They lived. Just, yeah. Well, I suppose it wasn't technically metal vapor, it was just a hydrogen explosion.
Fuel scooping complete.
Resume course.
Locking system destination.
Oh, Hank, it's alright, buddy. Maintenance is vacuuming the hallway outside, and Hank has a very, very profound fear of vacuum cleaners. So he is now trying to hide behind himself. Vape at a Metallica concert? That's one definition. System map.
System map.
Huh. Well, what have we got here? Nothing terribly special. You might be something. You might be terraformable. Terraformable. Obviously, I need more water or something.
Fuel scooping complete.
Let's go grab the scan and find out what this thing is. Hank, no, buddy, don't. Oh, never mind. That's gonna be a pain in the ass to extricate. He is now trying to hide behind all the wires and cabling in my sound setup. So if you hear the sound of what sounds like a very annoyed squawk, that is either Hank trying to get free of the cabling, or me trying to get Hank free of the cabling. It's really true. English is a beautiful language when you can get it to work. And yes, poor Hank. Yuki, meanwhile, who's usually so high-strung that she just snows white fur, which is where she got the name, she's just sitting there, like, just looking at Hank going, sissy. And Yuki does not have a whole lot of ground to stand on with this. Let's see here. High metal content. System map.
System cartography.
Are you terraformable? Survey says yes it is. I got that going for it. Yes, actually. Remarkably so. That one is not... One is not an ammonia world. Resume course?
Selecting next destination.
Ho 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 ho! Hello there, spinny neutron star. System map.
System cartography.
Well, let's dive into this thing then and get our supercharge. Resume course.
System destination locked.
Warning, frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged.
Boost activated.
Alright, good. Now get out of this thing. Come on. Bring the nose down. There you go. An anaconda, it's nothing but nose. Nice, yeah, space rave. So, you want to melt your video card. System map.
System map.
You're probably 1400, okay. High metal contents, a lot of them. Resume course?
Locking system destination.
Warning, frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged.
Boost activated.
Hey look, a slightly less ravey star. This is the after party star. A lot more chill, a lot more relaxed. Just kind of going and feeling things. As I nearly get punched through one of these stars. System map.
System cartography.
Frontier's system works right up until it doesn't. Also, could somebody send an EVA crew out to maybe just kind of... Wait a minute, that must be on my... Can somebody get some microfiber cloth up to the bridge? I really need to wipe down my helmet visor. Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
Windex, maybe? I know we passed the planet of Windex a while back. We should have been able to stock up. Lunk. And just like that, what are we at? 32 tons? 32 tons of fuel. I've really got to talk to maintenance about this. I've also really got to... God, we're flying in what, 100, 120, 150 meter long ship? And it's just one person in here? I really wish there were more NPC crew or something. Just to make this ship feel a little less, empty. Resume course.
Locking next star system.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Warning, frameshift drive
Nope, went
operating
right through the
beyond
jet.
safety limits.
Good afternoon, Vox. How are you doing this fine, kind of rainy Friday?
Frameshift drive.
And Wizard.
Boost
Good day.
activated.
The journey goes. Sorry about that. I was paying more attention to the flying than the chat. The journey goes just kind of, well, galaxy map. Galaxy map.
Displaying map.
We're approaching the, was it a region called the Perseus Stem? This area here. This is the far 3 kiloparsec arm. This is the near 3 kiloparsec arm, and this is the galactic bar. Well, we're here at the Perseus Stem. We're going to keep on going through here to the Boreas region. The, what's this called? The Bleak Lands. And then finally the Abyss. On to Beagle Point. But we got a ways to go yet. Beagle Point is how far? It's still 35,000 light years away. It's hard to believe it, but when you're when you're aimed at the wait, 327 light years? I can't make that. Resume course.
Selecting next system en route.
My drive is supercharged. Galaxy map.
Stellar cartography.
The hell you got going that way for? Can't make that jump. So somehow the computer is somehow screwed up and wants me to make a 300 and some light year jump. That ain't happening. That's better. All smoggy and inversion-y here. Where are you at? Come on out to Seattle. It's, well, rain. But that beats... Like I was saying earlier in stream, I've seen pictures of what's happening out on the East Coast, and God, no thank you. I saw pictures of cars in a flooded street, well, Salt Lake Valley. Oh, okay, that would do it, yeah. I was seeing pictures, there were cars out on the East Coast, looked like the Boston area. And the street had flooded, 2 or 3 feet deep. And then the floodwaters had frozen solid. Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
Which can't be a good thing for the, you know, the alignment or the anything.
Warning, frameshift drive
There's a lot of ruined cars out there.
safety limits. Frameshift drive
Boost activated.
System map.
System map.
Nothing landable. Resume course.
Selecting next system en route.
Actually, galaxy map. Galaxy map.
Displaying map.
Yeah, all the ice expansion should be shoving stuff apart in the car. You're correct. That's why it's... Yeah. It can't be good for the bodywork there. Let's see how far we can get here. Let's see what we can... Boreas region, I think it is. 10,000 light years. Can I get a route? Yeah, Wizard, the journey's going. How about you? How's your day going? Well, the route plotting is happening, kind of. It wants to. This used to be a half-hour process. Pickup truck to clean out. I'll be back later, possibly. Take care, Hardcore. And, yeah, Mad, they changed that to a 20,000 light-year limit. In the last update, they made that 20,000 light-years. You can practically get from the bubble to Colonia on one navigation. Well, yeah, GPS, Galactic Positioning System, right? Linked up, did a couple missions this morning. Another streamer, cooking some fried rice for lunch. Work after that. Hopefully more Elite later this evening. That's a plan. It's a good plan. I can get behind that plan. System map.
System map.
Resume course.
Locking next star system.
Next time you top off the tanks, I'm curious how far you can make it using economic jumps. Well, let's go have a look. I mean, I'm not going to make it on economic jumps, but I can at least plot the route out.
Boost activated.
All right. Speaking of, it's where are we going here? K-class star, perfect.
Plot twist!
Tyrist Rain, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the crew. My Asp Explorer done more than 1,000 light years? Yeah. I know somebody was trying to... Somebody had the idea of, you know, could I make it from the bubble to Colonia on one tank if I used economical?
Fuel scooping.
Tried looking up the Errantry Alliance in game, nothing showed up. It's not so much an invite-only thing, it's just... no, come on to Narvert and you support the group, and... I mean, I'm not even in it. I don't have anything by my name or anything that says I'm in the Errantry Alliance. They're a group that got... It's kind of complicated. Well, let me try to figure out the best way to put it. We put it in as a, you know, asked Frontier to put in a group. And they put them in as an NPC group rather than any kind of organized player group that you can get into. Not that there is one, really. It's just kind of, you know, we are the faction just by saying we're part of the faction. And then we've got a bunch of NPCs flying around kind of helping support it as well. I'm going to fire up the old aspects, point it in a random direction, see what I can reach. Sounds good. Sounds good. So yeah, Midgetastical, I should really see about setting up something. So, to be honest, I didn't expect it to be this big a deal. You know, I thought, oh, you know, a couple people might be interested and that's it, but I've been fielding questions about this a lot. I can put it in, I mean, I've got a bunch of people in, like, private group, but, you know, you can fly with them anywhere, open, solo, whatever. Anyway, Fuel Star, there's that. Let's get set up for economic. It really doesn't want to plot a route on economical. Hello, anything? No. Maximum distance exceeded. Well, let's find out there then. Limited to 1,000 light years. 2,800. $1,800. 1,500. Let's zoom back a little bit here. 115. 1128. Okay, must got here. 962 light years. Looks like economical jumps are still limited to 1,000 light years. Yep, today I learned. So yeah, I should really see about setting up some kind of Discord server or something, to be honest. I honestly never thought it would go this big. That's what you get when you plan small, I guess, but... thought, who's going to be interested in that? So anyway, we're still getting a 1,000 light year plot going out here. I know we can actually go farther than 1,000 light years, but it looks like on economical it is still limited to 1,000. And now I'm curious as to how far my ship could go. Oh, why didn't I try this in a less populated star system? The official wizard, you'd join? Well, alright, well. Shoot. Looks like I know what I'm doing this weekend, then. I'll have a talk. I know a couple other, I know somebody was suggesting. Athador, I think it was. Hope I'm remembering it. So yeah, we'll go poking around, and I guess I know what I'm doing. That, and maybe doing some changes on the startup, and I wanted to get some kind of intro and outro going. See what that gives us. Plus, you know, doing weekend stuff. Okay, and we can make that on one tank. Solid line. I mean, it would be, dare I ask, 515 jumps, so we're not gonna do that, but it's doable. Oh yeah, right there it says max 1 KOY. Amazing what happens when you actually bother to read the directions like I should have done 5 minutes ago. Don't you judge me. Okay, 16,000 light years. Can we get a route? Survey says we can. And actually a stellar population that looks a lot closer to something you'd see in the bubble. Reading is for nerds! Yes, but so is Starship Simulation. There you go. Chug away, little Navicomp. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. Whew. Finally. Back on course and back into the jumping business. On the other hand, yes, it's a few jumps, but it is 1,000 light years on a full tank of gas. Without needing to refuel. And if you were one of those truly hardcore explorers, the kind that I tip my helmet to, people, because wow. They don't need to go any further. I mean, every jump is something new, and that's what they're trying to do, fill in the map. System map.
System cartography.
Fuel scooping complete.
Actually, there's something I sent to Niao earlier. Work. Find it here. This up real quick. Okay, 0.005036% of the galaxy has been discovered according to Elite Dangerous Star Map. At current rate, it will take 50,454 years and 7 months to discover the entirety of the galaxy. Did that a few times since I wasn't going anywhere? Yeah. Yep, I'm trying to get to, well, maybe, possibly, might kind of sort of go to Beagle Point. We'll see. It's sure looking like it right now. But yeah, all Fuel Scoop does on that sort of trip is make things really hot. System map.
System cartography.
I mean, I know I'm filling the map up on neutron stars. Zoom course.
Selecting next destination.
Warning, frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged.
Boost
There we go.
activated.
Beagle Point was discovered. It was discovered by... Oh. God, who was that? I can't remember his name now all of a sudden. Dang it. But it was a star that... The star system that was furthest from the sun, from Earth, that was discovered by another player, and his ship was called the DSS Beagle. And so it got originally just nicknamed Beagle Point, but then Frontier officially named it Beagle Point. They will rename certain star systems for momentous events. Resume course.
Locking system destination.
System map.
System map.
You're kidding me. Water world. Water world. Water world. It is done by Alex when I tell her to, otherwise I do hold down the button. Yeah, it's only 11,000 light seconds out, I'll do that. I'm currently in the middle of kind of remapping my controls on and off, so right now Alex doesn't actually have access to the Discovery scanner. But you can give it to her easily enough. But there are other power settings I do have set up with Alex. For instance, weapons.
Power diverted to weapons.
Set to 1.
Power diverted to engines.
Split 1-3.
Redistributing power.
Set to 1.
Diverting power to requested system.
That way it's a really quick way of manipulating the power while I've got both hands on the controls and I can't reach for the power switches. And it's a lot faster than saying, divert power to weapons and engines.
Redistributing.
That was not a request, Alex, but thank you for illustrating my point. Set to 1.
Diverting power to engines.
But no, Frontier will name star systems after momentous events. For instance, when Commander Macedonica misjudged how much jumponium he had left and got stranded in between two star systems, and Commander Chiggy von Richthofen flew all the way from Colonia out into the abyss, that was a 40,000 light-year rescue. 46,000 maybe? And both star systems that Macedonica was stuck in between got renamed Macedonica's Leap and von Richthofen's Rescue, I think. Well, I kinda, sorta, maybe, possibly cheated a little bit. Well, no, I didn't cheat. I've actually got Alex running alongside the old Ripley Galactic Kix program. Now, most of Kix has been shut down for, in favor of Alex, but I still run a few controls off of the Kix interface, like my, my music player or my power controls. But you ought to be able to change around Kix's, or, for you, Astra's power settings. You just have to go through every combination, variation, and permutation of how you say it. Yeah, that's why, actually, when I say, like, something like set 2, I actually spell it out T-O, T-W-O, T-O-O, and the digit 2. Just in case, so she can catch all of those. Oh, and we're going to go zooming past. 11,000 light seconds for me to set the proper throttle settings, and I still miss. An accent probably doesn't help as well, no, but if you set it out for the various pronunciations, it does help. System map.
System cartography.
Well, let's get the specs on you. Terraforming candidate, that's kind of neat. When I say navigation, she'll set off silent running. Ooh! I know there was a suggestion somewhere that you can phonetically program voice attack. Or if not that, then you can actually set up proper phonetic recognition in Microsoft speech recognition engine. I haven't had to do too much of that. I mean, I've got what is supposedly the Midwest accent, which is about as plain as dry white toast. All kinds of fun in combat. Ooh, I bet. Other water world, are you a terraforming candidate? And no, you're not. It's actually kind of interesting from a linguistic point of view. I grew up in a little area in North Iowa called, Mason City, Iowa. About 30 miles from the Minnesota border and about 20 miles from the middle of nowhere. Don't worry, it's on the record. There's context provided. But Commander Bourgeois Stalker, he grew up in North Springs. Now, I went to school in North Springs. That's how close Mason City was. We had a rural Mason City address. We had the Rockwell Fire Department, and I went to school in North Springs. You have to send the limpets out by themselves. If you set them out after a target, they're one-shot limpets. But if you just send them out when they aren't aimed at anything, they will just go about their merry business and pick stuff up for you and send it back. But anyway, Bourgeois Stalker, he's got a really strong Minnesota accent. A little bit of the Canadian, a little bit of Fargo, a little bit of the Great White North to him. But we only grew up like 10 miles away from each other. And we're gonna go zooming past this one too, unless my scanners kick in. Come on. Come on, scanners. Do the thing. Thank you. System
You're
map.
welcome, sir. System map.
Are you terraformable? No. 250 Kelvin, 0.94 atmosphere, 0.72 G. Not too terribly horrible. A little bit of a carbon dioxide problem, but you know. Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
Fuel scooping.
System map. System map.
System map.
Well now. Two more water worlds.
Fuel scooping complete.
These are in short range. Nothing there, some high metal contents. This though. Yeah, there are special materials you can pick up. Painite, low temperature diamonds, stuff like that. Stuff that goes for... God, painite goes for what? I think 34 grand a ton? Let's see here. Prospecting and collection limpets cannot be one for the same fire group. No, you have to set up the... You have to set up the prospectors on one trigger and the collection limpets on another one. Or in a separate firing group. Because you aren't so much firing individual limpets, you're actually tying the trigger into the controller. And then a limpet drops down out of the magazine into the controller, gets programmed, then gets fired out. Limpets are just general purpose drones until it gets selected by whatever controller is controlling it. And mining can be very zen. Just sit, blast some rocks off, listen to some music, let the collectors do the sorting, maybe do some work on the, on the refinery end of stuff. But the valuable thing about mining is you are picking that stuff up off the ground, basically. Whereas if you go and you buy gold, and you buy it for like 8,800 credits, and then you go sell it for 9,000 credits, you've just made... Yeah, make a separate fire group with collectors on one and prospectors on two. And you can tie all the collectors together on one trigger. But yeah, have the prospectors just as one, as a separate fire group, separate trigger, whatever. So if you buy gold at 8,800 credits per ton, and you sell it for 9,000 credits a ton, you've just made 200 credits profit per ton. But if you go out to a pristine mining system, and you find a asteroid that's rich in gold, and you mine the hell out of it, say you fill your hold with, 80 tons of... Well, let's just use basic math here. 10 tons of gold. If you're making 200 tons, or 200 credits profit per ton, you've just made 2,000 credits buying and selling. But if you're selling it for 9,000 after you just mined it, you're making 90,000. Is there a way to shut limpets off prematurely? Yes. If you go into your modules and deactivate the limpet controller.
Modules.
Thank you, Alex. That's not what I meant, but thank you. You can turn off the individual controllers, and that will deactivate whatever limpets are tied to it. Not that you usually want to do that I've seen, but it's doable. System map.
System cartography.
Goodness. Still pretty bright out here. Actually, I've got a video set up on So You Want to Be a Miner, part 1 and 2. Part 1 is just... Part 2 is mostly just kind of a refinement, so to speak, of the first one when I realized, oh yeah, the Cobra 4 was a limited time ship. Honestly, I could not find any other use for the Cobra 4 other than a decent low-range mining ship. System map.
System cartography.
Alright, terraforming and terraforming candidate. Alright. 379 Kelvin, that's good. 0.9 G, no volcanism. 0.23 atmospheres. Okay, the atmosphere is 69.7% ammonia. That's problematic. But you might be able to do something with that. Resume course.
System destination locked.
Alright, neutron star coming right up. System map.
System map.
Quarter million light seconds, and mostly looks like a high metal content. Resume course.
Locking system destination.
Warning, frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits.
Oh, come on. Alright, back in we go.
Frameshift drive supercharged.
Boost activated.
Yeah, the mining video covers most of the questions and kind of ship setup and limpet setup, etc. And that's not saying leave me alone, that's just saying it's probably easier for that to do the explaining than me right now when I'm trying to navigate around a neutron star. How to... the bow tie stars, or space rave. Yeah, those are neutron stars. Yeah, those are the magnetic jets of material coming off from the poles as the star spins around. And you can get a 4 times multiplier boost on your jump drive by jumping into them. System map.
System map.
Now the problem comes in that the lighter the ship, the more it gets kind of kicked around in the jet stream there. Now you can also jump into the jets of a white dwarf star, but it's only a 50% range boost. And the white dwarf stars are a lot more hazardous to jump around. And you'll notice them, they're actually much larger than the neutron stars, but they still kick out a jet. And you never, ever, ever want to jump into the jet cone of a neutron star or a white dwarf while you are facing the star. You always want to be flying away from the star when you pop in. Otherwise, you have a really good chance of jumping over the gravity step and then dropping down into real space while you're still in the jet, and then your ship fries.
Fuel scooping complete.
System map.
System cartography.
Galaxy map.
Galaxy map.
Let's see here. Are there any around? There've got to be somewhere. Protostars. Off. Huh. No white dwarf stars in the region. At least none that I can discern. Stu, hey there! How do? Hope you're enjoying your weekend, or the impending weekend, depending. System map.
System cartography.
So another thing with a neutron star, when you jump in, you notice I've popped in at under a light second. I'm at 0.71 light seconds. These things are very, very small. White dwarf stars are much bigger. Impending weekend? The pending impending weekend? Gotcha. Resume course.
System destination locked.
So yeah, this is the approach angle you want on a jet cone.
Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive
Boost activated.
Because it's going to knock you around. It's going to make your ship buffet and you're going to lose control. So you may as well be kicking off in the direction where eventually you'll escape if anything else fails. No, you can only get, it's only a one-shot boost on your drive until you hit another neutron star.
fuel scooping.
Now there's advanced techniques for stuff like being able to get a second charge going. I've only done the double charge technique a couple of times. Not that easy and it doesn't always work. But basically it's where you're flying You set your target up, your star system up, so does it regenerate to re-navigate to account for the jet cone boost? It does. Galaxy map.
Stellar cartography.
So right here, my next jump, let me go to, well, let's see here. Sequence stars. All right. My next jump is the standard orange colored jump. That means this is a normal FSD jump. When I get here, this is a neutron star. And now it recalculates that jump in blue all the way to here. And this one also shows the marker. This is where my next fuel stop is going to be. But yeah, in the navigation panel here, you set for fastest routes and use jet cone boost, and it will navigate to the neutron stars, recalculate for super jumps, and then go from there. So it looks like I may actually be getting a double neutron jump out of this one. Like neutron star, jump to next neutron star. Yeah, it's a big jump. Now I could be doubling up on that, I'm not sure. We'll find out here. So usually my ship can jump something like 60 light years. This one's going to be a 234 light year jump. System map.
System map.
Nothing else really exciting here. Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
No, that's the thing. It doesn't use more fuel. It uses just as much fuel as a maximum range jump would normally.
Boost activated.
You saw actually after my drive supercharged the amount of fuel I was going to be using for this jump. No, the downside of the neutron jumps, you know, if you can get the neutron, if you can get into the jet cone and get your drive supercharged without, you know, falling into the star and dying, the downside is each one of those supercharges, and you saw it mentioned that, you know,
Fuel scooping.
something like a mention of overload or whatever. Well, here's what happens when you push your drive that hard. You actually do inflict damage on your frameshift drive.
Complete.
Now I've done a few jumps, which is why I'm down to 90%. It only does 1, maybe 2% depending on your drive integrity. But when your drive integrity gets down to like 80% or lower, then you start glitching out and you may not be able to jump, or you start running into trouble. So you always want to carry a field maintenance unit, and I've doubled up just in case. Actually, at 90%, I may just drop down here and do it. So yeah, now I'm running repairs on my drives, but my ship is running such a low margin of power, razor thin margins here. I've had to turn off my thrusters in order to power up the maintenance unit. Not a big deal on an exploration ship, might be a big deal in a combat ship.
Module repaired.
Hit it.
Preparing for jump.
It's actually the wiring. The internal, as far as I know, it's the internal components. They're just fuses, whatever. You know, not using monster cable, apparently. Or whatever it is.
Light velocity reached.
Monster cable insulates your ship from FTL jumps.
Scanning for anomalies. None detected.
No, it just makes your drive cost 500% more.
Compiling data for cartography.
System map.
System cartography.
Yep, nothing here. Exactly, Vox. Oh, it's hard to say with even a straight face there. You see, that just makes me think of a ship put together with something like Orc technology out of 40K, or maybe Megas XLR. God, wouldn't that be hilarious if Coop and Jamie were actually Gork and Mork? And see, that's what happened. I was looking too close at chat for a moment, and I crossed the gravity step. That one's on me. Six straight jumps with no planets. Bleh. So, how much damage did I take? 2%. Not serious, just extensive. Let's get everything back up and running here.
Shield offline.
Module repaired. Module repaired. Module repaired. Module repaired.
Duct tape two sidewinders together. Double FSD.
Module repaired.
Tell you what, you make that work.
Module repaired.
You'll be the king of space.
Module repaired. Module repaired. Module repaired.
Yeah, 2% hull damage as well. That's frustrating.
Module repaired.
Make it all the way out here without one single mishap, and then boom.
Thrusters online.
Bring you back online, bring you up, bring you up. I need those. I'm told that's important.
Programming Limpet drone. Hull repaired. Repair limpet successful.
Shields.
Max systems.
Alright, we're back in business. The one thing that can't be fixed, the one thing that requires a shipyard, is the power plant. Get spun around properly here till we're aimed where we want to be. Stupid brown dwarf stars. Man, I hate them. Gonna be cooking it a little bit here. We should be good.
Shields online.
Temperature critical.
Well, because there's nothing to actually... If you turn off the reactor, then you aren't able to power the devices you need to fix it. System map.
System map.
And they don't have they don't have a battery backup, even though that'd be a pretty good idea. I think you're a water world. Set 2-1.
Max engines.
Fuel scooping.
Yeah, stay above that little yellow line. God, 30,000 light years, and it's just one little brown dwarf in a moment of carelessness. That's why exploration can be such a... Well, it can be a pain. If you aren't paying attention, if you just slip for a moment.
Fuel scooping complete.
Hell, Commander Makaze, another friend of mine, he ended up almost losing his ship just in the bubble from running out of fuel. Because he fell asleep. He was in the middle of a long-range cargo run, and he ended up dozing off. And he ended up in Super Cruise for the next 6 hours or so. Well, tell you what. Would you want to do a full-on video card or RAM swap on your computer while it was turned on? Kind of the same thing. It's not for the AFM, it's for the component that you're fixing with it. And again, Star Trekking right past. Let's not hit any planets there. Right, take 2. 10 light seconds and change. I will do many things to prove a point. I think you'd be proving my point. Resume course.
Selecting next system en route.
Ah, crap. May as well get the star while we're here. Oh, already got it. Beautiful. Moving on. Never said whose point I'd be proving. There you go. I mean, you can't just plug it into somebody's... You can't just plug it into a battery backup either. Let me get the charge on this thing and I'll show you. System map.
System map.
Oh. Okay, it's a water world. It's a 5,400 light seconds. Still, if that thing is terraformable in a system with a neutron star, again, this is one of those impossible type worlds. Or at the very least, really, really strange type worlds.
Warning. Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged.
Boost activated.
Because a neutron star is kicking out most of that energy in in the thermal range. It's not putting out much light. So for a world to be habitable, so anyway, on approach here, let's pull up the module data. I'm running a 3A power plant. Okay, it's not showing me the details, and I really don't want to... If somebody could look up the Elite Wiki, or even Coriolis, and tell me what the power output is on a 3A power plant. Because that is well into the megawatt range. Because these auto maintenance units are using up 22% of that power output. So it's not something you can just plug into a battery backup, unless you've got a megawatt battery setup. Well, that's good science there. That's proper science. I'm willing to disprove my own hypotheses. Okay, a 4A is 16 megawatts. So a 3A... Well, I don't know, but less than 16 megawatts. So 22% of that, you're going to need a hell of a battery backup. A is 12 megawatts. Thanks, Vox. So 22% of that, 1/5, so 12.5. Let's be really generous and call it 2.25 megawatts. Thereabouts, roughly. You'd almost need a second power plant on board the ship. Which would be neat, actually. Why not load a 1A on board just in case? But that's questions for another day. So your terraforming candidate, 325 Kelvin, that is almost, well, okay, it's almost 0 Celsius if I remember my Kelvin conversion. 0.2 atmosphere, 0.61 G, 55% oxygen, 43% carbon dioxide, 0.9% water. Okay, so 0.61 G, a little over half gravity. Atmospheric pressure is not great. High carbon dioxide. So the plant life there is going to be enormous. You're going to have some giant plant life. And it's going to be either dark red, dark purple, or almost black in order to absorb all the energy it needs. Because what's the... here, this thing... Surface temperature is 4.2 million Kelvin. It's boggling my mind again, people. Resume course.
Locking next star system.
Because here, plant life is green because it picks up the... You know, it picks up most of its energy from that portion of the spectrum. Well, it reflects a lot of the green light, but absorbs the rest of the light. At least if I'm... God, now I'm forgetting my physics that badly. My physics and my biology. Fail. Either way, though, I do know that on a planet with almost no light in the visible light spectrum, it's going to be trying to get as dark as it can in order to absorb all the infrared. System map.
System cartography.
And now I need to go look up properly. I'll do that later. Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
Be so many scientists or people with better scientific background than I just watching this on YouTube later, just screaming, "You idiot," at the screen.
Boost activated.
It would depend on the chemical reaction that's benefiting from the light energy. Well, I was figuring it was just going to be a variation on chlorophyll. But I suppose if there's some other chemical that... So I'm going with Earth analogs here. But yeah, whatever else is in the plant, whatever else has evolved to let it have life in that environment. System map.
System cartography.
Resume course.
Locking system destination.
Fuel statement complete.
I'm assuming some level of commonality, though, if it can be terraformed. Now, that's probably a silly assumption to make, but it's all I've got. And it's all we've got here with Frontier, because we can't set down on it yet. Int. But no, if and when we get to be able to set down on worlds like that, I would love to be able to see what's going on down there. System map.
System map.
Resume course.
System destination locked.
Warning, frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more, say a little bit more, come on, give us a hint here. But yeah, I've got just enough of a mind for science to be really dangerous, I guess. Kind of halfway know what I'm talking about and then be wildly wrong on the rest. Oh, another neutron star. Okay, we're making this into a long-ass trip. 227 light years here. Probably a lot more. Probably, let's call it 230 to 234 light years on the next jump. Oh yeah, I've got Subnautica. I've considered streaming it, but I'm not sure. I didn't have the setup before, where I was able to easily, you know, manipulate the controls. Now I might have the setup though. System map.
System cartography.
Resume course.
Selecting next system en route.
Yeah, here we go. 234 light years.
Warning, frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged.
Boost activated.
So not quite 500 light years on those past two jumps, just near enough as makes no difference. Well, I tell a lie, about 450 altogether. Scan the system.
Gathering information, cartography updated.
System map.
System map.
Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
Well, that's a good reason. No, I get you, midget. I get you. I mean, that's why it took me so long to get out into deep space here in Elite. It's kind of like open ocean. Me. But I was able to get past it, and, I got too curious my curiosity overcame my fear. What was it I was seeing? It was a video somebody linked me to, said No Man's Sky wasn't killed, it was murdered. And I just... No Man's Sky is a neat looking game, but it came in a twofold knockout punch, in my opinion, for what took it down. And they were both... It was basically the creator punching themselves in the face on it. The game that was pitched, the game that was pitched is not the game that was delivered. I mean, they were promising the moon, and they gave green stinky cheese instead. And then the second one, after that had died down, again, just my opinion here, just editorializing. The second thing that happened was after, they still had a devoted core of players who loved the game. They were setting up their own networks, their own civilization, all that. But then there was a patch that got rolled out that totally changed around planetary environments. You could have spent 3 months or something working on building a base out in some temperate planetary grassland, and then after the patch you'd log in, you'd check out, and suddenly your base was in the middle of a totally inhospitable, radiation blasted hellhole. Just seemed like a bad deal. Yeah, some kind of emergency beacon. Kind of like a wing beacon, only even bigger. I don't know. I don't think that... I have to totally disagree with his idea that No Man's Sky was murdered. I think that was just... That's a clickbait title. System map.
System cartography.
Well, there's a lot of rings. You want rings? We got rings. You want water worlds? We got rings. Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
Well, that's a bit of a fallacy there, Vox, in my opinion. I mean, if nobody's pulled it off before, how are they going to be any different? Well, if that were the case, and nobody's pulled off so-and-so, insert Howard Flight, or, rocket to the moon. No, Elite isn't. I mean, it's still... it's what I got, though. And they're still progressing on. But Elite didn't promise... I mean, yeah, Elite promised a lot, and it didn't make good on all of those. And that's on Frontier's head. But... they didn't drop everything either, I guess. Yeah, Star Citizen won't be either. Star Citizen's gotten their act together, at least, and to their credit, they'll get that. I think they'll get that sorted out, and then they're going to be full steam ahead, and it's gonna be a hell of a thing. Resume course.
Locking next star system.
Warning, frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits.
Yeah. Yep. Yep, accessible enough for the casual, hard enough for the purists and the... well, no, nothing is ever perfect for the purist unless it's pure, but... For the, more hardcore sim junkies, it's there. Haha. That's true. Star Citizen more for the hardcore because holy balls is it confusing. At the same time, I kind of like that. I mean, I like... oh, what I would love in Elite, and I've mentioned this a few times, and it looks like Star Citizen may actually pull this off, but Elite may pull this off too. I don't know what's in the future on that. My crystal ball is hazy. But what I would really love, and what I will give my money and love to, if they can pull it off, whoever can find a way to get a good multi-crew exploration vessel going. Where you got one person flying, you got one person being able to do more in-depth sensor scans or something. Maybe you got somebody that flies off on a little scout ship and is able to get some footage or some scout data from nearby systems or something. With a semi-decent combat model. I'll go with that too, but mostly I want exploration and geeking out on stuff like this with folks on the ship. Unless I don't. Because I'm pretty... I mean, when I'm out here exploring, I wish I was out, making more money somewhere else. And when I'm out making more money somewhere else, I wish I was out exploring. I'm a very complicated person, though. Resume course.
System destination locked.
Yeah, if you mix in bridge crew, nobody would leave.
Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged.
Boost activated.
Now, bridge crew, that's just, yeah, if you were able to put that into something procedurally generated open world, like this or Star Citizen, yes, please, but... So... listening to you flew too close while scooping. I was talking, and I flew too close earlier on something that wasn't even scoopable, so you have my sympathy. Just push random buttons and see what breaks. You're a fiddler. Yeah. I do the same thing. I like the same thing. Just something I can poke around with. What's this do? Let's not go into that. System map.
System map.
High metal content. Resume course.
Selecting next system en route.
safety limits. Frameshift drive
Boost
supercharged.
activated.
Game called Pulsar Lost Colony. It's like that. A little more Star Trek-y, but also early access, but what can you do? Yeah. Everything's got to start somewhere. Early access, aka you're paying to be the beta tester. Which I guess with little stuff it's fine, but with... System map.
System map.
Everyone has something about a game that they're playing they want to change, which is why I'm in favor of allowing mods in games and make it somewhat easy to do. And it goes on the player, they really want something possible. That's true. Nothing too terribly exciting here. Now the problem with that part though, Wizard, comes in like a multiplayer. Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
That's what I was afraid of. I was almost going to go over that step again.
fuel scooping complete.
I don't know. In some ways it can go real easy from... In multiplayer settings like this, or in... And this doesn't have to be multiplayer, but... You run into that problem. Like, where does it, you know, it's a mod, or it's a... I mean, I was saying before, if they had zero lag on the railguns, so you just pulled the trigger and they immediately fired, how long would it be before somebody came up with a railgun aimbot? And then you'd have blood all over the sky. Excuse me, a bit of a hiccup there. I haven't played Space Engineers. I should really take a look at it, but I haven't played it. Too little time, little cash.
Fuel scooping.
Okay, so you've got Steam verified mods there, alright. System map.
System cartography.
And here we've got one great big pile of baked in iron and carbon. Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
Current physics engine is pretty good. Having tested out, done a little bit of flying in Star Citizen, I'm really liking that too. I'm liking that you actually get some speed in real space. You can have a couple thousand meters per second. No, they never... As far as I know, they said they were going to get a completely offline mode, and then that was never incorporated. That's only been on paper that the completely offline mode existed. As far as I know. I mean, I was in the beta and the gamma, and that was never an option there. So maybe it was in alpha. It was a big selling point on the Kickstarter, I know that.
Fuel scooping.
System map.
System cartography.
I know that was a big bone of contention later when they announced that they weren't going to do that. System map.
System map.
Lots of hydrogen here. Just not much of anything else. Galaxy map.
Displaying map.
Okay. Here we got a neutron jump approaching. Oh, we are ways out yet. How far are we from Beagle? Actually, I should really be modifying my course. See. Really low. That's too high above. But get a course plotted this direction. Yeah, exactly, Wizard. I mean, without having an offline option, then the game is restricted to having, being only around for as long as the servers are up. Unless somebody decides to, unless Frontier decides to flip a switch somewhere, because they also said, they also said that they wouldn't be able to integrate cross-platform play. I remember hearing that, oh no, we can't integrate with the Xbox and with the PlayStation. Well, turns out you hand them enough money and they can. And that was just kind of flipping a switch. Well, okay, not so simple as that. But there was a game recently that actually they did flip a switch and instantly had cross-platform going. Then they turned it off and had a great big PR disaster. But I don't know. It's possible that maybe they can... Hell, maybe they'll put out some kind of server kit eventually. A few years down the road when maybe they're looking at putting game into maintenance or sunset mode. That would be great if you could actually have your own... run your own Galaxy server.
Fuel scoping.
I know I've got enough hardware sitting around on the shelf. Could probably do it.
Fuel scoping complete.
System map.
System cartography.
Nothing here. It's a business political thing to a certain degree, but I can also see the argument that it's from an engineering or software engineering standpoint, because say Elite has a patch that they need to put out really quick. Now, say that they have to coordinate with Sony and with Microsoft for patching stuff. Do you do it now? Do you have a different set of criteria? Is there different tolerances on everything? I can see where it could be a problem just from a scheduling and trying to roll out everything as once. Then again, they don't roll out everything at once. The PC version does usually get stuff faster than the console version, so I don't know what to think anymore. System map.
System map.
Yeah.
Unable to comply.
Doing something yeah, exactly, Alex. Doing something players want only happens if the return is worth it. System map.
System map.
Rocks. Probably metallic rocks, but rocks. Resume course.
Locking system destination.
Oh yeah, when I lost that limpet, I was able to
Frameshift drive operating
actually
beyond
upped my
safety limits.
range a little bit.
Frameshift drive supercharged.
Boost activated.
So now we're up to 235 light years. My jump range these days. Well, okay. 238 to 250. Should have figured that one out. System map.
System cartography.
You might be terraformable.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
You bring up a good point there, Wizard. Just not sure if I'm 100% on board with it. I'm just not sure how to... see here. White paint for my eventual Star Destroyer Federal Corvette. Okay, Elite and Woe said a few days ago, Frontier's getting most of the profit now from the market of buying paint jobs, stuff like that, than developing more and more season passes done in the past. Now,
Unable to comply.
Alex, I was giving a pause there. Now, I'm not sure... I've heard tell, and maybe this is just the rumor mill going, that there may be going some more season pass type material, like... you know, Beyond is going to be, you know, the next big thing. Or whatever happens after Beyond may warrant more paid content. Honestly, if that's the case, then so be it. I will shut up and take my money, guys. Done well so far, other than maybe the skybox is a little too right-angly, but, you know. Ah, dang it. Got lost talking and looking at these kind of square skies here. So long as it isn't pay to win. I don't think it's gonna be. I think they've managed to get by pretty well on that. Yep, Waterworld. I haven't seen any evidence anywhere towards pay to win. It is terraforming. Excellent. Exile. I bought Elite last summer. Always had myself getting bored and coming back. And by the way, welcome to the show. Yeah, it's... For me, it just, you know, well, I was saying earlier, I get bored with something, and then I want to go out and do something else, and then when I'm doing that thing, I want to go back to the thing I was doing previously, and it's a very interesting kind of mix. Resume course.
Locking next star system.
No bed and bath to go with the Beyond update. That's, I got nothing. Yeah. Yep. Well, at least, you know, it's... There's more to do than in Desert Bus. If anybody's familiar with that epic game. System map.
System cartography.
Resume course.
Locking next star system.
Yeah, I could see that. Or chat and stream. Yeah, it's a little bit of everything for me. I mean, I can go out and I can do some, you know, fairly high-intensity dogfighting, you know, high-tension stuff, which I have done. Or I can just go out zooming out into the great beyond like I've done right now, and the big problem is you can't switch between them very quickly. Well, you could, but you would stand to lose a whole lot of data. Yeah, that makes sense. Though then there's stuff like Crossout, which I've played, and I'm like, oh boy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put in a lot of time on this thing to get anything I want. So is that hobby, is that job, or is that just game with a really steep time gate on it? Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
Yeah, Kerbal is a demanding game. Demanding on both, you know, mental faculties and hardware. Over 2,000 hours into Kerbal. Nice. Well, somebody do the number calculation on this one when I get to the next stop. Not sure if I should be proud of this or not, but, well, no, I will say it. I will own it, and I will be proud of it. Yeah, if only this could go on a resume. Hold on a second. System map.
System map.
Oh. Okay, come in.
View scooping.
Yeah, let's look at the statistics here. Approximate time played. So what's that calculate into for hours? Oh god, 1.8 megameters? That's 1,800 kilometers in an SRV. Ugh. Never want to do that again. Resume course.
System destination locked.
View scooping complete.
Fun fact, the whole phrase is great minds think alike, but fools rarely differ. $2,931 hours. Ooh. Yeah, I'll own that. Yeah, if only I could put that on a resume. Willing to grind for profit and for upgrades. Wait a minute, that's right. Shit, that's regular work. Oh, my Alti's only been in for 24 hours. Resume course.
Locking system destination.
System map.
System cartography.
I mean, I suppose Elite does have a game non-hobby mode in, you know, in the CQC championship, but there's no, yeah. Yeah, you can if you're willing to put in the time and effort. I'm working on it. Yeah, CQC can be Elite's game mode, and the rest is more like Elite the hobby. But you see how popular CQC is compared to the rest of the game.
Fuel scooping.
System map.
System map.
Not a whole lot out here.
Fuel scooping complete.
Well, Midgetastical, for me, it's a case of I can have somebody... I can have my main out here doing deep space exploration, or I can pop back into the bubble and actually do some bounty hunting or combat, something other than jump, honk, scoop, look around. I mean, exploration is a lot of fun. I like it. It is not all of what I like about Elite, and with the sales and everything, getting an alt is cheap. I just don't pick up any ship kits or anything for my character. No, for my alt. There you go. With all the current exploration, aren't you leaving the missus behind? She's already been to Beagle Point. She left me behind. In all seriousness, she's, you know, she doesn't play as Elite as much as I do. And if I were to wait, then I wouldn't have a show to put on here. System map.
System cartography.
But yeah, she's only, well, only. She's still back on the other side of the core. She's only like 10,000, 12,000 light years out. So if she can get high enough above the galactic disk, above the plane, she can get all those scans in, get those black holes, the neutron stars, build up a ton of cash, get her Elite rating. By that time, hopefully, I will be back from, or on my way back from Beagle Point. I intend to kind of cannonball this as much as I can. System map.
System map.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Been inside too long today. Just went outside and it's warm and humid. Wow, what a filthy casual, and 2, you could always stream Subnautica. You know, just between you and me, kick back a little bit my way and I'll make sure she doesn't see that comment. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I want to put up on stream. I mean, I want to kind of go back into Long War and see how many more of my viewers could get, well, could survive. Sergeant Griff is still out there. Still shotgunning away. What else?
Fuel scoop complete.
I already honked the horn here. Yeah. Yeah, there was nothing. Yeah. Battletech, when that starts coming out, that's going to be part of the jam session that I want to be doing with Meow and with, you know, other folks. Because Battletech has such a huge backstory and history to it, and to me, that's really interesting, seeing the backstory of the game. I mean, I like Elite lore, I like the lore of a game too. I like the world setting.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
System map.
System map.
Not a whole lot of anything here. Wait a minute, is this a K class? G class. That is going to be one interesting lump of carbon right there. At least I hope it'll be one interesting lump of carbon. Guess we'll know in about 10 seconds. Well, not too terrible, I guess. Let's see here. 1.55 G, 1700 Kelvin, surface pressure 3.28 atmospheres, rock vapor geysers, and the atmosphere is 2.1% rock vapor. The rest is sulfur dioxide. It's, you know, like I said earlier, it's not the most hilariously lethal planet I've ever seen, but it'll still kill you up right good. And we'll grab this ammonia life gas giant here. At least if I had to make a guess, it's an ammonia life. But no, I love game lore. I love the story, you know, that they put the effort into making the world. You know, I like it for Elite. I liked it in City of Heroes. God rest its digital soul. Star Trek, that already had plenty going on for it. Battletech, Warhammer 40k. Reams and reams of paper used for all the backstory and history on that. It's another good one. I know City of Heroes and Villains feels so long ago. Fallout and Skyrim, there you go. I spent 3 years of my life drowning in and piecing together Destiny lore. It's addictive in a lot of ways. Gas giant with ammonia-based life. Excellent, I was right. Resume course. Resume course.
Selecting next system en route.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jump.
Preparing for jump.
Oh, Double X2 156, thank you so much for the subscription. Welcome to the crew. Welcome to the Officer Corps. You don't have to be as crazy as the crew. Well, actually, no, you just gotta be more crazy than the crew.
Faster than light velocity reached. Temperatures are at an acceptable level.
Well, no hurry on it, Exile. It's gonna be there a while, so I'm told.
Completing system scan for cartography.
But actually, that's exactly the same reasoning I had behind this little trip. It's like, you know, I should really go to Beagle Point. And I've got a ship for it. And there's nothing major coming down the pipe anytime soon. He says, as he finds out last night, that 3 more stations got hit in the Pleiades. Exactly. Elite may be a boring game, but it is a big enough world that you can lose yourself in it and become, you know, just... It's a totally different world. That's what makes this... It's not so much a difference between a game and a hobby. It's just it's a totally different world. But no, 3 more stations hit out in the Pleiades, and they are getting mighty close to Maya. I think the nearest system that was hit now was Atlas. So maybe I should maybe I should flip a 180 and start heading back for home, because you need a hand about that. Oh yes, Beagle Point. Galaxy map.
Galaxy map.
Beagle Point is the furthest point in the galaxy from Earth. Sag Star, here's yon bubble. Here's where I am. Here's where I'm eventually going. Here's Beagle Point. 65,000 light years and change from Earth. Missed a few words. So your Asp Explorer wasn't getting exploded after every passenger run? Is that what you're trying to say here? Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
Yeah, I used to think going out to the core was a great big expedition, and then my wife, Commander Niao, was it 2 years ago now? She went out on the Distant Worlds expedition. So she was out there in an Asp Explorer, and she was gone about 6 months. Wesley, hello mate. R, and other ship-related terms. So yeah, she headed out to Beagle Point, and the motto of that expedition alone pretty much says it all. You know, Distant Worlds, Beagle Point's the halfway mark. Oh, haven't touched the game since my Vulture died. No bueno. That's just no good. Yes, it is possible to hit Sag Star with a Cobra 3. Just make absolutely sure you have a good fuel scoop. The Class 4A is highly recommended. Oh no, it's not a question of that. I mean, there are plenty of... It's just a question of what is the distance between stars. Distant Worlds definitely recommended... Here, speak... Okay, Red Dwarf, scoopable. Yeah, I'm kind of heading out in that direction. It's looking more and more likely that I'm heading towards Beagle Point, but... The biggest problem with... that you need really long jumping ships for Beagle Point is because there's the Abyss. And the Abyss is a region of space that is so sparse that you need super long jumps in between the stars. And you don't usually have that much of a problem getting between stars between the bubble and Sag-A.
Fuel scooping.
System map.
System cartography.
Galaxy map.
Stellar cartography.
Yeah, the big problem is the Abyss. That is this region right around here, where it is so sparse between stars that you actually have to use jumponium or have a hell of a good jump drive to get in between the stars. Otherwise, you get stuck. But everything from Sag-A onto the bubble, I mean, the worst part you run into is this area here. Yeah, you can supercharge the drive with neutron stars, but I don't know how many neutron stars are out there in that region. Okay, jumponium. So if you go into your inventory and down to the synthesis menu, you can see this little part marked FSD injection. If you have vanadium and germanium, you can use those. The Spinning Frog, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the crew. If you use vanadium and germanium and combine them, you get a 25% distance boost to your jump drive. For one shot, that is a one-shot boost to help you get through difficult areas. And an 07 to you too? No worries. We all started out somewhere. I don't... Noob is good. You're asking questions. Now, if you didn't know what was going on, you were just trying to, muddle through without asking anybody because you thought it'd make you look weak or something, that's where you run into the big trouble. I'll take questions any day of the week, and I'll take them gladly. System map.
System cartography.
Yeah, that shouldn't have busted the fuel scoop. Maybe if there was overheating, that could be an issue. But no, I just say for, you want a good fuel scoop because, Commander Jarrah Heaven's Run, and I've mentioned this story before, but it's too good not to say again. I clued them into the game. They got themselves a Cobra 3, they started exploring. And they were like... They were, out 10,000 light years. They'd managed to get out 10,000 light years, and they came back to me, they were on Discord one day, and they said, exploration in this game sucks. You refuel your ship, and you have to time it with a calendar. You can't get anywhere in a hurry. I said, dude, how big a fuel scoop do you have? He's like, 2A? You know you can get 4A, right? And the scream of anguish. They come in bigger sizes. Yep. System map.
System map.
So yeah, scooping up a Cobra 3 gas tank on a Class 2A fuel scoop, oh my god, that must have been... Yeah, no wonder, that would have taken forever. Probably, what, a 5-minute fuel time? 5-minute fuel up time? Maybe more. Because you can't do it at maximum capacity. So yeah, you can make it out to the core just fine in a Cobra 3. I'd suggest, obviously, the biggest jump drive, and then kind of go scrimping a little bit on the other components. Like, you're going to want the biggest fuel scoop. You're going to want some shields, maybe, just in case. I mean, just in case you want to land and you make a hard landing or something.
Fuel scooping complete.
System map.
System map.
But yeah, if you derate everything, then that's the lightest weight stuff. And if you go with class 3D or 4D thrusters, you'll have enough speed to get, in real space. But you don't need a fully A-rated, top of the line everything for exploration. You actually want to cut weight as much as you can. But even an unengineered ship can make the trip. I mean, it's not going to be the fastest trip out there, but you're still going to be making money like crazy whenever you honk the horn and scan something. Exploration payout doesn't care how many or how far your ship can jump.
Fuel scooping complete.
Yeah, I mean, I've got an Anaconda here, and this thing is an embarrassment if you were going to go, yeah, doing it in a hauler. Yep. Yeah, a Cobra with 4A grade thrusters will outrun just about anything. It might run into trouble with an Imperial Clipper, maybe. Yeah, what it takes to move mass, and what it takes to move mass into another dimension. So yeah, I'm running... an Anaconda will take class 7 thrusters. I'm running class 5s. Let's see here. I'm running a class 7 fuel scoop. Biggest frameshift drive. Everything else, though, shield generator, I'm running a 3D. This thing will take class 7 shields. I'm running just enough to kind of prevent nicks and bumps when I land. See your life support, derated, sensors, derated. I also went for lightweight on these because class 8D sensors are still something like 64 tons on a Conda. If you can get them lightweight, if you can kill the mass on those through engineering, you can get that down to something like 18 to 20 tons. You've just shaved off 40 tons. Power distributor 1D, just the smallest thing I could put in, smallest, lightest thing. I can't boost. Doesn't really matter, though. Power plant. All of this weight saving and energy, I've got a 3A power plant in a ship that'll take class 7s. So basically, you just buy a ship and you strip it down to its underwear, and then put the biggest frameshift drive you can in it. No, I'm not playing in open, just... I play in open, I just don't stream in open. Yeah, the Diamondback... Let's see here. Yeah, Diamondback Explorer. That's a good exploration ship. Diamondback Scout's a good fighter, but it's no explorer. It actually got some pretty long legs for a fighter craft, though. System map.
System cartography.
Nope, high metal content. Oh dear, what'd you find out, wizard? Well, that... I don't know. I would kind of go... Yeah, it's not worth it. Because most of the time you're going out in a ship and, you know, you're not seeing anybody. And then you've got all your data. You've got so-and-so, you know, days, weeks, months worth of exploration data. Somebody shows up and, you know, opens fire. Resume course.
Locking system destination.
Warning, frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged.
Boost activated.
Oh yeah, I've had a few Thargoid encounters. Actually, some combat too. Oh, there's a, ammonia. 2,900 light seconds, may as well. Well, I play in open, I just don't stream in open. I play Elite to relax and have fun, and somebody deciding to blow me out of the sky after I've spent several months trying to gather stuff isn't... Well, I've had fun. That ain't it. Oh, you mean the Thargoids? Well, that's a different story entirely. Well, all you gotta do is fly down to the Pleiades and just fly around the Maya system and start jumping from one star system to another, just kind of in that area in economical mode. You'll find them. If you go to... shoot. Oh, actually, what system was it with the Oracle? Pleiades Sector IR-WD1-55. Wow, I put way too much effort into things if I can rattle that off. IRWD1-55, and there will be plenty of signal sources, non-human signal sources. And if you pop in, you should be able to see a Thargoid ship just fine. And in fact, it may be the last Thargoid ship you see. And yeah, for, let me show you what I mean on economical mode. So here on the galaxy map, you've got this tab, which tells you your system information. This one, which is the course plotting. And you've got, you can set for economical routes, fastest routes. With fastest routes, you can set jet cone boosts. Economical routes use a lot less fuel, but they jump you much lower distances. So if you have a 50 light year ship, then economical mode might drop you down to like 4 or 5 light years per jump. It uses much less fuel to jump a short distance than it does a long distance. Don't ask me why, but there's a certain fuel curve to it. Ha! No worries, no worries. Wait, did I get the scan on that one? System map.
System map.
I got the neutron boost. Gas giant with ammonia. Alright, I did. Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
$232 light years. So yeah, if you fly down around the Pleiades and you just go to Maya or something... Here. You just go to Maya and you fly around in economical mode and, you know, from star system to star system in that region. And eventually you're going to get hyperdicted by something. The suicide winder. Just fly out there and dock at one of the stations first. System map.
System cartography.
Otherwise, you're going to have a bad time flying back. Resume course.
Locking next star system.
Some kind of optimal mode where it varies the jump distance without... Huh. Sting?
Warning, frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged.
Boost activated.
I kind of see what you mean. So if you had something that would usually take you like 2 refuelings, it would program it to, instead of economical mode where it's 5 light year jumps, or ultra long distance where it's like 30 light year jumps, it would do something like, here's a bunch of 10 and 15 light year jumps. I could see that. I could get behind that. Where do I find the key command for resume course? One moment on that. Let me pull it up. FT should let us try a good old nuclear bomb. System map.
System map.
Ankle cowbell. Alright, let's find out here. Options. Gotta go, see y'all later. Alright, sounds good, Wesley. Let's see, controls and... what is it? I think it's in targeting. Target next system en route. It's under targeting. No problem, Exile. I'm just gonna... actually, we're coming in... oop, getting a little close here. Resume course.
System destination locked.
Let's just leave it here and top off the tank real quick. No problem, Frog. Ahoy! Let's see, where's our... okay, here we go. Yeah, glad to help out. Glad to answer questions. Unfortunately, we're, kind of out of time. Usually I wrap up around this time because I've got some real-world stuff to take care of. In this case, this little fur beast has to go to the vet. So I gotta get packed up and figure out a way to get Hank into the carrier without him ripping me apart or the carrier apart. Because as much of a fuzzy little lump as he is right now, the moment you pull a carrier out of the closet, snacks, treats, the moment you even look at the closet and say, hey buddy, oh, he is no longer your friend. It's kind of like a hand grenade in that way. You know, when you pull the pin on Mr. Hand Grenade is no longer your buddy. Mr. Hand Grenade should probably be somebody else's problem. So, on that note, I'm going to be taking off. I will be back on Monday, usual time. That'd be noon Pacific or 8 p.m. GMT. Pick a towel, sneak attacks, yeah, something like that. I may also try to see something about getting something going this weekend. No promises, but we'll see if we can't roll something together for that. Maybe put Meow back on. Get her in front of a microphone again. In the meantime, everybody, always a pleasure to meet new people, always glad to answer questions, always happy to talk with new folks. And old folks. You know, it's not like, yeah, I talked to you before, get the hell out. It's always just good to chat it up with folks, pass the time, and At the moment, we're doing some exploration. Don't worry, it's not always exploration. Take care, everybody. Fly safe. If you can't fly safe, fly dangerous. If you can't fly safe or fly dangerous, stick an afterburning jet engine on your car. It doesn't have to be a flying car, but any car can also be jet propelled if you're brave enough. Take care, everybody. Have a good weekend, and see you later.